Welcome to the Sports Show. I'm your host, EMDAD RAHMAN, and I'm back here with another exciting episode for you all to enjoy and to share and to discuss within your circles as well. So it's 2023 and we've just enjoyed another glorious summer of football within our communities. And I've got a number of guests here with me today to talk about one of the special tournaments that took place. Now, within the Bangladeshi community, namely the Sylheti community, we have an annual tournament, which is known as the Greater Sylhet Upazila Cup, where from the region of Sylhet, Thanas participate with their own teams. Approximately 16 teams take part in a major tournament to decide who is crowned, which team is crowned the Kings of Sylhet. Now, most of us do know that we do have a special team that has been breaking all records for the last few years, and I have got members of Bishwanath Sports Association, otherwise known as, or more popularly known as BSA, here with me here today. Now, I'm just going to introduce you all before we commence some exciting discussions here. So to my right, I've got the president, Daulat Khan Babul, who's also the founding manager of Bishwanath Sports Association as well, and we'll touch a little bit on that during our discussions. To my immediate right, I've got the head coach and the manager, the legendary Khalis Mia. To my left, I have the secretary, Anfor Ali, and to my extreme left, I have the chairman, Koes Mia. Welcome to the Sports Show, everybody.
Thank you.
And I'm going to just quickly get rolling and get right into it. I've got a question for Khalis first and foremost, with you being the manager of such a great team. How does it feel to have lifted this special trophy 3 times?
Thank you, Ndalbai. Thank you, everyone. Amazing. Obviously, doing this first time, it was a special moment because we waited 4 years before we could do it. 4 years, wasn't it? 4 years before we could do it the first time, and that was a special feeling. Obviously, doing it the 3rd time makes it even more special because every time you do it, when you've done it once and you've done it the 2nd time, and then the 3rd time, it just becomes, because everyone wants to do it, the hat trick, and you think when you've done that, there's nothing else to conquer anymore, because it's sometimes it's easy to win it once, twice, but to repeatedly do it, it's just an amazing feeling. I can't explain it any better than that, but I think it's just something you live for in sporting events, to do it repeatedly, especially the 3rd time. So, alhamdulillah, it feels really good.
Fantastic. And for my quick question for you. So as we all know, anybody who knows anything about sports and teamwork knows that there is a lot of effort which takes place in the background for success to materialize. So the boys on the pitch, they play their roles.
Yep.
The manager, who I say has got the loneliest position, because once you win, you're the greatest. If you lose, you're the loneliest. The walk is the loneliest as well. Having said that, for an organization or an institution or a team to prosper and thrive, a lot of silent work goes on into the background. Tell us a little bit about the role played by management committee members like yourselves.
Thank you, Mdadbai. Thank you, LB24, for having us on the show. Let me start with by saying that we are absolutely blessed. Bishwanath, known as BSA, is absolutely blessed within our players and management. Now, I don't know about any other upazilas, but we work throughout the year. Throughout the year, the management puts the plan together. We gather friendlies, we gather the structure, how to win the tournament. So what we do is we got very hard-working team behind the scene. We all play our parts. We all play our roles and responsibility well. And this is how we, and not only that, not the management, then we reach out to the players, make sure everybody is aware of the roles and what they're actually playing for and their achievement and their goals. So everybody is focused on their own role. And this is how we progress forward. We couldn't ask for anything better than that we all gelled in. And that's what makes Bishwanath successful.
Thank you very much. Koes, on the same subject, so we know it wasn't always a bed of roses for Bishwanath. Some people might be forgiven for thinking that this is a team that was born to be winners. It wasn't always the case. A lot of hard work has gone. So those who have followed the Opozilla Cup, for example, for the best part of a decade, know exactly the hard work that's gone in to not only promote Bishwanath itself, but also BSA as a sporting organization. How difficult has it been to reach this stage?
Assalamu alaikum, and thank you, EMDAD, for that question. In footballing terms, having the best players on the pitch doesn't mean you'll win, and success will follow itself. There's a work behind it. So in terms of BSA, initially when it started, everyone got to understand, it got too serious. The buzz was created. I'll touch on Sonali first. So Babul Bhai, I think, initially started that tournament in his reign as chair of Sonali. So that was a buzz itself. Then everyone got together, your Jagannathpur, your Biani Bazaar, Bishwanath, the buzz was created. So that was needed. I'm just trying to say why it's needed. So Alhamdulillah, like Babul Bhai created that buzz. So then it went to individual teams. Now, how do we create the buzz? Bishwanath, we struggled first 4 or 5 years. Khalis will touch on to that in a bit. But then we had to take a stand. So we've got these players coming through. Now we've got a committee, and it's got to lead like a project. You got to do it as a project, because it is a project, And unless everyone does things half-heartedly, it won't fall through. You need to follow tasks and actions through. And I think that we did very well. So we started at the top with actions from myself, getting to know the community, getting sponsorships, and putting our name out there. From Khalis scouting and making sure the good bunch of players come in, but not just bringing the players in. It's how you manage them throughout the year. It's communication with the players, which is the key aspects of this. To keep players involved, they need to have something going to keep involved. And this is where we created our media platform, our own BSA, which a lot of people follow now, alhamdulillah. And that we try and post that and keep it active. So our players, in general, they're active with BSA. They're getting feedbacks every week. They're getting feedbacks. The managers saying something, they're getting feedbacks. And for why sending out notes. So as part of the committee, we follow up on action. So he's making sure all the actions are done. This is all voluntary, don't forget. But if you're going to do it properly, what BSA believes, and I think what we got to structure here is, if we're going to do something, we do it properly, and it's got to be a winning mentality, nothing else. Otherwise, we're putting time in. There has to be fruits at the end of it. And this is our motto, I think. This is what makes Bishwanath very strong. And I think the player buy-ins have been very strong. And not just football, just to touch on that. We've had requests from other sports like badminton, carom, to play those out. Because of the structure we've got set up and the know-how and the structure of doing a project. Like I say, be it football is a project, badminton is a project. Because we've got the structure ready, we can take on any project and deliver, because the experience and the infrastructure is set up, to explain it best.
When Bishwanath originally started their journey, I have got an anecdotal story which I think would be nice to share here. So I was appointed head coach of Biani Bazaar, and we played a friendly with Babul Bhai's Bishwanath at the time. So Babul Bhai was head coach of Bishwanath at the time. I'm talking, this is the second year of 2016. And we had a friendly weekend teams at Mabley Green. And I'm very pleased to say, I always love mentioning this as well, that we won 4-0 at the same time. But because I've got such a respectful relationship with Babul Bhai, known him since I was a kid, now locking horns with him as a manager, so it's a big thing for me. Also involved with the over 50s in the district as well. I just remember having this conversation with him, which struck me as I was preparing for this program. And one thing he did tell me, which also stood me in good stead, was, you know what, whether it's today or whether it's tomorrow, we've got the ball rolling in terms of BSA and Bishwanath Sporting Club. I remember Babul Bhai, at the time, he was a pioneer for me, because he had the bibs with the Bishwanath logo on them. And I was so impressed. I mean, I was like, I was so impressed. I said, look, these things make a big difference. I remember telling him, I said, you know what, you got these to Bangladesh. I was having a little joke with him. I said, Babul, you didn't get these washed because they smell a little bit. But I could see the vision, just about getting the logo across, getting the branding across. Also, and he said to me, he said, look, it may not happen during my managerial career, but we will pass on the baton to people who will take us onto bigger and better stages. And it's like a prophecy, it's just actually arrived. So Babul Bhai, question for you is, you've been involved in football for so long. How satisfying is it for you to see BSA prosper and do well?
Thank you, EMDAD. As a BSA, it's a success. Bishnath is a success. Amal lagyo, I'm mone korram. The Bishnath side is success, but as a football, not success, because I'm involved with. It's a long time before the Upajala tournament or district tournament comes. So on that side is not success, but as a BSA, Zelahan আমি তোমারে কইছি যে ইনশাআল্লাহ এক সময় আইবো, because I know মাঝে হয়তো কয়েস আনফর আলী তারা ওই প্লেয়ার আসলা না এই সময়, but one survivor from first Bishnath team যে সময় হইছে ওতে one survivor is খালিস আছে, but আমি জানতাম যে বিশ্বনাথর অনেক মানুষ আসেন এই দেশও, but find out করা লাগবো তারা তোকে আবার করা লাগবো। সো জাস্ট একটা প্ল্যাটফর্ম রেডি করছিলাম, বাট আলহামদুলিল্লাহ এখন যে বাইনতে তারা রান করে, তারা আমি যেটা জায়গায় যেতাম পারছি না ওটা জায়গা থেকেও তারা প্লেয়ার হল আনে। সো আলহামদুলিল্লাহ আমি চাই ইটস নট দ্যাট যে বিশ্বনাথে এভরি ইয়ার জিতিলিত বা জিতিলিব ইলাখান নাই, বিকজ এভরি সিঙ্গল উপজেলায় তারা সকলেও মানে সকলের ওয়ে থেকে তারা রেডি হয়, বাট হয়তো ল্যাক অফ জেলিং, ল্যাক অফ কমিউনিকেশন, অনেক জিনিসে অনেক সময় বালা থেকে বালা টিম হইলেও জিতে না। আর্জেন্টিনায় তো সকল ওয়ার্ল্ড কাপ জিতেন না, ব্রাজিলেও জিতেন না, অনেক সময় জিতিলার স্পেনে ও ছোট ছোট দেশে দিলা। সো ইলাহান ওয়, বাট এক সময় ওইব বিশ্বনাথর লাগিও অনেক হার্ড হইব, বাট ইনশাল্লাহ বিশ্বনাথর যে লাহান ইয়াঙ্গ হলো বাড়িয়া ইরা আলহামদুলিল্লাহ ইন ফিউচার আমি শিওর আছি বিশ্বনাথ উইল কম্পিট বালা লেভেলে যদি উইন না করতে পারে।
Wonderful. Khalis, tell us the secret. What do you need to do to motivate players? So for many teams within the Upazila Cup once, I mean, you're limited in terms of footballing success because you can only participate at this present moment of time. You can only participate in one championship. It's a one-day tournament. To many people, they're actually quite astonished. They say to me, and I'm sure you've heard it many times as well, you guys get so excited over a one-day tournament, one day of the year, and you've got so many other football tournaments as well, because obviously they don't understand the heritage aspect of this as well. You've reached the pinnacle in terms of the first head coach and manager to lift the Upazila Cup 3 times. What do you do to motivate your players?
Just want to follow up something what Bolway said first before I move on to that. I think you obviously also said it. So when the foundation is put in place, Quest also mentioned about structure and stuff like that. So Bolway being one of the founders of this event, and then the first manager of Bishnath Upazila team, which is now BSA, they put structures and foundations in place. So Babulbhai was saying, like, we've been to places that even he hasn't thought about when he was managing. But if the foundations and the structures are not in place about this is what we're going to do, then these things probably wouldn't have happened yet. Maybe it would have taken another 5 years. So Babulbhai and them put these little structures and the actual foundation of this is how we envision it, and this is what we're going to do. And sorry, after Babulbhai obviously passed it on to me, to someone else, and eventually to me, we took that baton and we went to the next stage. So now coming to your question, similar. So secret, there is no secret. Secrets are you create the togetherness and the brotherhood, which is what this is about. So you're talking about heritage. So when you talk about heritage of these sort of sports or Upazila, etc., it's all about brotherhood and creating bonds. Our secret is we've found the right ingredients to connect with each other without jealousy, without fighting or competing within ourselves. So we've taken away the competing within ourselves away from that and created that bond where everybody feels that they have the same right as the other guy. So yes, we have management, we have senior management, junior management, and so on and so forth. But when we together, be on the playing ground, on the sidelines, it's like Quest wants to play. You go, I can play. And the guys won't think, oh no, you're older, you can't. They'll be like, come, boys, let's enjoy it. So even though we're trying to build a winning team, behind it is all friendship and brotherhood and togetherness. And that is the only secret. In terms of being where we are now with Bawul Bai and everyone else has been in the process, is yes, we found really good players, but every Upazila has good players. It's how you bring out the best in them and for them to feel the importance of this heritage we talk about, right? So our brothers would probably have more passion than everyone else. I don't think that is the case, but people keep saying, oh, you guys are the best team, whatnot. It's not that we just got brilliant players. Yes, we have, don't get me wrong. We've got brilliant players, but these brilliant players have to feel that they want to win, just creating the winning mentality. And there's no secret to that. Secret is finding and reaching out within your mentality to go and bring out why you are a top player or a top team. So for me, it's the secret is creating brotherhood, togetherness, and getting people to play for the badge, the so-called, and that is it. But it's the structure and the foundations put in place that's supported us to come to a level where we all want to drive the same direction. And I think this is it.
Anfar Bhai, two questions.
Yes, sir.
As from your position, not only with BSA, but also with Sylhet district, so you have a major say in the recruitment of a manager, their assistants. I've worked with you personally as part of this process as well. How important is it, A, to spend time finding the right person as a manager? Remember, this is all unpaid, so you have to have many boxes to tick when you find the right person. And secondly, how do you support them?
Well, first of all, I think the person that you select to lead your team, you need to first of all how committed he is and how passionate he is. Saying that, then you have to judge how selfish he is. Is he actually working for himself, or is he actually working to promote the organization? And that's what we look into it. Again, I think we are blessed that we have our within in-house manager who actually played for the team, and we thought he is the right person. I'm talking about Khalis, the current manager now. We thought he is the right person to lead that team because he has played for the team. He has the passion. He wants to achieve the maximum for BSA. And this is how we basically selected him as a manager to lead the team. Now, going back to as the management, we have our trust in him because we see him how hard he works to progress and make Bishwanath proud. He's not just talking about just as a team, just the players and him and the management. We're talking about the whole Bishwanathi. This is what we want to make, we want to feel proud that we represented Bishwanath in a platform so high that we're very proud of it. And this is how we, as management, we back our players and managers 100%. We go training every training session. That the Super Jilla training session, I booked it for myself, 6 sessions, and I was there physically every session. I watched how the coach has been coaching, how he's monitoring his players. I watched how hard the players have been working. On selections, yes, we do have some kind of executive say on this, but we don't interfere. We don't interfere. We don't interfere with the players. We don't interfere with the manager. We say, this is your team. You select. You make the right judgment. And this is how we've been. So we are the backbone. Yes, we are supporting. We're giving the 100% support, but into some extent that, okay, you pick. We don't do that. We don't do that. We have the full faith on the manager and the players who will be playing for this team, the squad itself. We have great vision. I want to really touch on our BSA. When BSA started, Bishwanath Sports Association, every organization has sports association behind the names and only concentrate on football. But we had great vision. We wanted to make BSA a household name within the sporting community. And I think, alhamdulillah, we are achieving that. We're not just concentrating on football, we're concentrating on other activities such as carom, badminton, tours to gel the players and to teach them the heritage of Bangladesh and reroute with their heritage. Last year we done this national carom competition. Alhamdulillah, it was very, very successful.
Excellent.
Previously, we done badminton, which is very, very successful under the banner of BSA. This year is all final, if I may say so, announced on this platform that Carom National BSA National Carom competition the date is confirmed for the 7th of November. It's going to be a 2-day tournament. Final will be played on the 21st of November. And this tournament that we organized, not just any tournament. This is we done it in such a prestigious venue. We want to create the platform for everybody, basically, so that everybody feels part of Bishwanath. Not everybody is talented in football, so we create the carom for them. And then there are other groups who is more interested in badminton. We have a plan to do a tournament in badminton late in December. Inshallah, that's all progressing well. So yes, something for everybody under the banner of BSA.
Which is great. I mean, from personal experience, Biani Bazaar Sporting Club have been involved in similar, supporting similar initiatives for a number of years as well. And I can advocate that this is something which actually not everybody is interested in football. Even when you enjoy great success in the Opposila Cup, you still have probably the majority of Bishwanathis who are not aware or just simply not interested. They're like, well done, Khalis, you've done it. So how do you engage them? So Anwar Bhai has touched on some important points. I remember talking about these things with Babul Bhai years ago as well. But like he's mentioned there, and again, I'm going to come back to you on a few things. Obviously, Karen, badminton. These are all designed to bring the greater community together as one. So you've got the fulcrum, you've got a nice small community, a tight-knit community, using football as a medium to bring them in. But how do you reach the wider community as well? So this is a great plan. And like I said, we've done it as well. And I can testify that this is a great initiative as well. And I wish you the very best going forward. Quest. Again, I refer to Baul Bhai again, because I've got this image in my head of him and Kashir Sasa sitting on the motorway in their clapped out banger, and they've got their cold weather hats on, and they've got ice around their beards, and they've got their flasks, and they're on their scouting trips. I always have this image of them, funny, comical image of them. Can you tell us about these scouting trips?
I will do. In terms of BSA, I'm going to have to widen the horizons a bit, because I do feel a lot of the attention or respect wasn't given by the community at a certain time when it should have. So I'm going to horizon that, if it's okay with you. So Babul Bhai, Keshar Bhai, they've always been there. With Bishwanath, they're Bishwanathis, the heart is there. But with Babul Bhai as an individual, a lot of the Bengali footballing community knows. He's a big name. He's a brand in football and promoting football. From New York days to Shadwell days to being chair of Shonali Otid, then finding the Upazila Cup came under his bannership. He's the man with great ideas, I call him. But unfortunately, doesn't always get the credit because of the fall-throughs. But if you look at Shonali Otid Upazila Cup, it was under his creation, the 50 plus. So he was the one that identified the older people need to play football. He come up with the idea. Obviously, it was implemented by others, but the ideas are coming out. So alhamdulillah, we've got someone here blessed in Bishwanath that's doing these ideas. But swinging that back, the community, have we done enough to give him that platform is a question that needs to be answered on a lot of forum. And I think we need to realize that in terms of the work he's done in the community. So that's to a whole community. I think you can never take that away. BSA, he'll do things day and night with Bishwanath. It's hard. But I don't want to take that away from him in terms of the work he's done in the community. If he hadn't created the Upazila, the football, or the vets even, none of us would be here. So you got to look at the history, not just the Upazila and Bishwanath, how it was created. He's the man, I believe, in what I've heard, has been the instigator of all of this. So a lot of credit has to go. We will always give him credit. It's not that. But I think the wider community need to acknowledge that at some point, which is a question. It's always, sorry to leap it out, it's always been in me, and I thought it had to be said in a wider platform. So that's that. Similarly with Khalis, in terms of BSA, and you said how, just wanted to touch on that, how it's selected. So you can't forget, obviously he's been a player, obviously he's been very passionate, and the selection goes there. And we shouldn't forget, BSA is a success now, last 3 years, but the first 2 years has been really hard for Khalis with the criticism and all the noises and other, there were big brand managers, we've managed bigger teams, why shouldn't we be? So it's not that BSA hasn't gone through challenges. For here, before this, we had challenges, but this is where the faith came in. We had a trust in someone who was heart and half Bishwanath. Any manager needs time to settle in, to understand the job, to set his wings. And, we were there supporting Khalis Bhai in that. And, he came out strong because he didn't put his head down. Tournament won, lost. And you said, when you walk away, you walk alone. We made sure he never walked alone. We walked with him. And that's what builds strength. And I think Bishwanath, in his strength, that's the strength we have. We like to support each other and keep the brotherhood, which makes us shine more and more on that, if that answers your question.
Bahul Bhai, so again, talking about this is not, I promise you, this is not a show about Bahul Bhai as well, but we have to refer to him because there's a lot of references and there are a lot of important discussions that are taking place in our community at this present moment of time. Even in my experience, a lot of these were injured because I used to talk a lot to Bahul Bhai through my involvement with him being chair of Sonali Otid, but also him appointing me as, and again, I'll come back to Khalis on that point. So even him appointing me as manager for the over 50s, for example, when they won the inaugural district cup. And so I've always had these discussions with Bahul Bhai. Even then, you were talking about getting the youth involved. Now, we know that the Greater Sylhet Upazila Cup is strictly vets, and it will remain, that in itself is a brand, it will remain a vets tournament. Having said that, I remember even 8-9 years ago, there were youngsters coming up to you, they were saying to you, what have we done to be left out of such a fantastic initiative? And you get it all the time. And you must get it. Your son must be dreaming of, congratulations, by the way, to Ikram and Flair for winning the, should we say, the championship recently as well. But they will come, they must be so excited to be saying, you know what, it's about 35. And I want to play for Khalis Akko. You see that all the time, don't you? So, by the way, in terms of the youth, I remember you speaking about youth involvement at that time. The Greater Sylhet Upazila Cup, is it one tournament? Is there a bigger picture to it? How do we get the youth involved, not only in football, but also their heritage as well?
And that, যে সময় আসলে ব্যাট্রেন স্টার্ট হয়েছে যে উপজেলা ও ডিস্ট্রিক্ট, maybe আমি আসলে ইলাহান কোয়ালিফাইড মানুষ না, এলা ওয়েল এডুকেটেড মানুষ না, বাট আমি কিন্তু হৌ সময়ও আমি চিন্তা করছি যে ইউথ, সামওয়ান হ্যাভ টু স্টার্ট ইউথ, আর ওখন অলরেডি লেট হয়ে গেছে, আরো আগে থেকে আমরা ইউথ স্টার্ট করতাম আসলাম। বিকজ ও যে আমার মনে আছে যেমন মিন্টুরে আমি একদম ফার্স্ট বাংলাদেশে লইয়া গেছিলাম। সো মিন্টুর মা comes to me যে ওটা বাতিজা আমার ফুয়া কোনোদিন দেশে গেছে না, তো মিন্টু কত বড় আসিল। But we played against Bangladesh national team and we lost. This is the first Bangladesh থেকে কোনো টিম গিয়া, ইউকে থেকে কোনো টিম গিয়া বাংলাদেশ ন্যাশনাল টিম লয়ে খেলাইছিল। So আর খেলাইয়া we lost 2-1, and then this same year they win the SAF championship, Bangladesh 2001. So 2001 Mintu Abdullah ki. So
just going to mention that the Mintu that Bahul Bhai is referring to is Little Abdullah.
He was a kid, আর ওখান তারা বয়স্ক হয়ে গেছে। বাট ওকটু আমি কইতাম আসলাম যে আসলে আমরা ওখান either Sonali or whoever it is, but Sonali need to start youth ASAP because কারণ ইটা ফুরুতাইনতে চায় তারার দেখে তার বাপর লাগিয়া যায় বাপর লগে দেখা যায় গিয়া দেখে ইস এ ভেরি বিগ বাস তো তারা বুড়াই নিয়ে খেলাই আমরা ইয়াং হইয়া খেলাই না এখানে ওঠার লাগিয়া সো ইনশাআল্লাহ বিএস এর অলরেডি start set up but আমরা ইনশাআল্লাহ খুব soon and probably Koes Khalis they will sort out something tarar khano gese they will sort out something but is again it's another thing there was a veteran football 98 99 I find on I myself Arozali Bhai and few others people আমরা কেশিয়ার ভাই খালি আমরা আউট অফ ডেট হয়ে গেছিলাম সো আমরার মাইন্ডও মাঝে থাকতো যে যদি বয়স্ক কোনো ফুটবল থাকতো তে হয়তো কিবা আমরা খেলাইতাম পারলাম না এই সময় আমরার অনেক ভাইয়েন আসলো যারা আমরার লগে ওগুলা ক্রিয়েশনও আসলা বাট তারা এই সময় খেলতে পারতো দে ফিট ইনাফ তারার বয়সও কম আছিল সো দেন আমি কি বেশ কিছু সংগঠন থেকে পিপল লাইক আরজালি ভাই মানিকুদ্দিন ভাই আমরা খাদির ভাই নাই আরো কিছু ওলা বয়স্ক ভাই ডিফারেন্ট টিম থেকে একজন দুইজন করে দোলা করিয়া আরি ও সোনালী অতিথান ক্রিয়েট করছিলাম যে টু এঙ্গেজ ওল্ডার পিপল সো ফার্স্ট veteran team Bengali community best veteran team আছিল সোনালী অতীত so then 2000 or গিয়া আমরা সোনালী established হয়ে গেছে 2000 থেকে established হয়ে গেছে তো that was the first team এর আগে কোনো veteran আসলা না because most of veteran হল আসলা ও টিমর ম্যানেজার সেক্রেটারি ও এরাও আসলা so এরা রেলুয়ারি ক্রিয়েট হয়েছে বাট আলহামদুলিল্লাহ এখন ওইছে একটা ওয়াই কিন্তু এখন যেমন ব্যাট্রেন হইয়া যেমন ব্যাট্রেন টু মাচ হয়ে গেছে তখন কিন্তু আমরা ইউথর দরকার আজকাল দেখা যায় মাইলেন স্টেডিয়ামও যদি বছর ফার্স্টটা ফাইনালের মাঝে 4টা ফাইনাল হইল গিয়া ব্যাট্রেন ইউথ একটা দেখা যায় যদি বছর 50টা টুর্নামেন্ট হয় 50টা টুর্নামেন্টের মাঝে দেখা যায় 45টা হইল গিয়া ব্যাট্রেন টুর্নামেন্ট ফার্স্ট হইল গিয়া আর ইউথ টুর্নামেন্ট So, ওই যে আগে তোমারে আমি কইছিলাম যে ওকে এজ এ বিশ্বনাথী মেবি আই এম সাকসেস এজ এ ফুটবলিং কমিউনিটির মানুষ আই এম নট সাকসেস বিকজ ইউথ ডেভেলপ জেলাখান হইতো ইলাখান হইছে না ইউথ জেলাখান হয়তো মেইন স্ট্রিমও যাইতো আছিল ইলাখান গেছে না কিন্তু ব্যাট্রেন হল গেছে ব্যাট্রেন হলে দেখা যায় বড় স্টেডিয়ামও গেম অ্যারেঞ্জ হয় বড় স্টেডিয়ামও ব্যাট্রেন হলর এক্সিবিশন গেম হয় কিন্তু ইউথ এক্সিবিশন গেম বড় স্টেডিয়াম হয় না তো আমার সকল কমিউনিটি বা সকল কমিউনিটির যারা ফুটবলিং লিডিং করে সকলের কাছে অনুরোধ থাকবো যে উই শুড থিঙ্ক অ্যাবাউট দ্য ইউথ তখন গিয়ে আমরা ইউথ এমনিও ইউথ সকলটা নষ্ট করিলার ইলেকট্রনিক গেমস আর অন্য গেম আইনতে নষ্ট করিলার বিকজ ফিজিক্যাল গেমও তারা যাইতে চায় না মোবাইলও খেলতাম পারলাম তেমন কষ্ট করে গিয়ে ফিল্ডও গিয়ে খেলতাম কেন এটাও একটা জিনিস আছে তো মেজরিটি ইউথ আর দেখা যায় তারাও যে ইলেকট্রনিক গেমস লইয়া পাগল ফিজিক্যাল গেমও তারা যাইতে চায় না তো আমরা এটার লাগিয়ে আমরা ইউথ ফুটবল ডেভেলপ করার দরকার ইউথে দি ফোকাস করার দরকার বড় অর্গানাইজেশন লাইক স্পোর্টিং ফাউন্ডেশন ILFL লন্ডন টাইগারে অনেক কিছু করে বা নিউইয়র্কে অনেক কিছু করে বাট আরো কিছু অর্গানাইজেশন আছে ইউথের লাগে করার দরকার রে ভাই
Khalis, so BSA have launched an initiative called the Friendship Cup. Can you tell us a little bit more?
So I mean, it's the same aspect to what Bowlby is mentioning. So I think one of the important thing that Bishwanath Sports Association we do, we listen to people and we look in our community and see where the gaps are. What Bowlby did 20, 25, 30 years ago to create Shanali and the vision of the Upazila Cup. Similarly, obviously we're not in that stage yet. So there is a gap and there's a lot of screams where we, what have we done wrong? Like you said before, the youth are saying, what have we done wrong? So we've already started this 5-6 years ago, but obviously you were part of it at that time as well. So we had the Inter-Bishwanath tournament where we incorporated the vets and the youth. So again, some of the secrets you were talking about is how you gel people in, how you look for the future of the opposite team, at the same time engaging the youth with it. Yeah, so that was a half vets and half youth. So from youngsters from the age of 16 to vets and whatever age you could be, 40, 50, 55. 60 people played a couple of times. Brothers, dad and child, uncle and a nephew. So we started that already 6 years ago. Now we're taking it to even further down the road. And again, it takes time because, like Anfrabai said as well, we don't just do stuff for the sake of doing it because we just want to get another tick on the calendar. We plan it out properly, and once we know that we're there or thereabouts and we can deliver it in a good level, then we take that step. So yes, youth, we've already started the conversation. I think, and before I say more, yesterday, all of us were in this the cup final, in a BFA Summer League, the cup final. Obviously, it's an open age tournament. Quite a lot of the Bishnati players were there, and obviously they've played for our team, the Bishnat team, which is predominantly vets. But a lot of these brothers come and play with us for different things, especially in our Inter Bishnat, which is open age. They said, "Are we going to do something?" Yeah. So encouragement from these brothers because they want to be part of it, and this is, like I said, because this is what gives us the success, because these youngsters coming to us and talking to us that they want to do something now, and they know we're listening. Hence the reason they come to us. So yes, so we have the Friendship Cup, but that one, to be fair, it doesn't really answer or follow through from what you were asking Bubble was saying. So this is not really for the open age youths. This is more for the veterans. So what we as Bishnat do, we've said it in many platforms before, that yes, Bishnat wants to enter a tournament or a friendly or whatever, and we want to win because it's football. It's all about winning. But we also want to support the community, so not just the Bishnati community. So a promise I made in the Shunali Otit meeting, and I think one of their live shows as well, that Bishnat will support the so-called smaller teams who are struggling to find players, or because they think there isn't that many people from that region of Bangladesh in the UK, or as they, obviously from what they know. So always we promise that we will support anyone that we can support. So this year we've committed to take on 3 of the so-called, and again, forgive me for saying this, so-called smaller upazillas in terms of players in the UK that will support them. So I'll name them actually. So we take, we're supporting Dirai, Fensugonj and Dokken Shurma in a competition that we're holding up in the Midlands. What that does, it opens up that upazilla in the public that most Londony brothers do not know. That's one of the things that we do to create our team. So because these brothers have said many times that there are many Dirai people here, there is not many Dokken Shurma people in London and so on and so forth. But obviously, as we've been saying for years, people are there. You just need to reach out in the correct way. So we've been doing this for this is our 3rd year that we hold a Friendship Cup up in the Midlands or like more north, to widen the spectrum, let everyone know what happens in London once a year. So we're supporting those 3 teams and reaching out to some of the younger players also, but not the youth per se. So around the 33, 34, 35 mark and onwards. So obviously the brotherhood is created. So we have this planned for mid-November. I won't say the name in case something changes, but we're just waiting for the dates from the venue. Other than that, everything else is planned out.
Brilliant.
But yeah, so alhamdulillah, make dua for us, because just like we're trying to support other oppositors, we need a dua from everyone else to come back as well to us. Yeah.
I think the scouting network is actually vital when it comes to community operations like this. A funny story with Biani Bazaar is we've actually struggled to find a network outside of London. I think our remit is Luton, and I'm sure there are many other Biani Bazaars, but they're not a focal point, or they're not at the forefront of football within their communities. We actually did make a very good discovery this year in the run-up to My World Cup campaign with Bangladesh, and also the Upazila Cup. So we discovered a striker from up north. Everybody was raving about him, by the way. Everybody was raving. And I thought to myself, wow, we actually need an out-and-out striker. But the brother turned us down. He went and played for Sylhet Shodor. So we lost out on that as well. So there's pluses, there's pros and cons when it comes to recruitment as well. Sometimes you may have to face disappointment because some people may not understand their true heritage in a proper manner. The key thing is not to feel disrespected.
Yeah.
If somebody's chosen that, my response was, if I'd approached Babul Bhai And I said, you know what, you're a Biani Mazari, you need to come and play for me for Biani Mazari. And if he chose somebody else, the key thing is, yes, I'm a little bit annoyed, a little bit angry, but let's not take it personally. And also to think that maybe if he didn't want to play for my badge, for his badge, maybe he wasn't a right fit for this team. Anwar Bhai, last question for you. Now, as Secretary of BSA, you're also Secretary of Sylhet District. You've got many, many roles that you play, all as a volunteer. Huge number of roles that your son, again, Ikram, I'm congratulating him again on the Super 7 success. Ikram, if you're watching, congratulations to you and Flair FC for a wonderful campaign. We will be following your and the team's progress going forward as well. We might even invite you into the studio with your teammates and your dad to come and talk about it. But why I mentioned Ikram here as well, so it's about getting the balance right. So you've got a lot of commitments in terms of the community with Bishwanath, with Sylhet District, and many other things. You do charitable work as well. And then you've got Ikram involved. I'm just talking purely from a footballing perspective. How important is it to balance things, and how do you balance things?
Well, I think at times, EMDAD Bhai, I've been quite selfish in terms of promoting and working for different organizations, playing different roles, promoting the 50 plus players and the veterans. I didn't concentrate as much as people like my son Ikram and that age group. There are so much talent in our community, not necessarily just Bishnathis, but other Upajilas as well. There are so many young talents, unbelievable talents. I mean, when I go watch the Monday night football, the Super Sevens and things like that, the players comes up and they're fantastic, really, really good. I think we all should take the initiative to promote, as we discussed before, the teenagers. Not just because of the talents, but they need to regroup with the roots. They need to know the heritage and to keep them away from the unnecessary troubles. We need to create a platform for these youngsters where they should go and make people like, my generation of people, the dads or the parents, the Upajilas, the country they're coming from, proud. And there are plenty out there who is willing to come and play, and we will, inshallah. We have been talking within our management that we want to create a platform for these youngsters, and inshallah we will follow up. We need to. I think Babul Bhai mentioned Khalis, Koyes, everybody. I think yourself, you all mentioned that we are concentrating on the veterans so much that we're forgetting our youth. We will create something for them. Soon, inshallah. We are working towards it. I want to go back to, I don't want to give too much away. I mean, what Khalid said about this friendship cup, things like that. This is just one of the initiatives to engage players. Our Bishnath Inter, like we have we categorize that we need, 8-a-side football, forwards, open age, forwards and 4 open age players that engages the youth as well. But that's not enough. So we will create something for them. I think I just straight away from the game, the friendship game in Midlands. That is something for the Northerns, the Midlands. They always travel to London for the game. So the reason we go in there and creating that platform for showing every other Upajilas like this, you need to reach out. I think Khalis Bhai just said, like, we're going to give opportunity to players like 32, 33 players. This is just investment. When you're playing a 32, 33 years players, what are you doing? Investing in them.
Yes.
For 2 years along the, 2 years around the line, they'll be qualified to play in Upajilas. So you are creating the platform for these youngsters as well to come into play for your Upajilas. And, I think we all should do that. We all should do. It is hard work. It's all voluntary work, traveling, taking time out. It's a lot of hard work. But someone needs to do it to promote our community, to promote our own, own family, Thanks to our families for putting up with us. The time that we spend with our communities, and they give the time that we give. Yes, we will think of something, inshallah. Something soon we will announce under the banner of BSA for the youth.
Thank you. I'm sure the community is grateful. That's all I can say. Baul, final question for you. I'm looking at your shirt. It's a retro shirt. I have got GCSEs in mathematics. I've got GCSE in mathematics. So I would say I'm decent with figures. So 3 wins, but you've got 8 stars there. Are you very confident of taking the crown for another 5 years?
Inshallah, because some of the brothers actually, they're saying, oh, Bishwanath is Manchester City because they cannot continue. No, actually it's not that. It's 3 times. We need to win another 5, but unfortunately this is our 8th union.
All right.
Bishwanath Upazila have an 8th union. That's why we put the 8 stars. Okay, and inshallah we will try. We will try our best to take 8 times anyway. Lastly, I'll just say one thing, and that obviously it's publicly I didn't. I think I mentioned in one place in our last BSA annual dinner was there on that time. I crossed my age of 60, and at the moment actually I resigned from everything. I'm just with the community. I was with the community. I was most of the footballing bodies. I was with them when initially they set up. It's either ILFL or BFA, whatever it is, or a lot of other Shongoton association. I was with them. I just try my best to help, or whatever is my ability, I try to help them. But I'm not success. I know I'm not success because of if 1 or 2 or 3 Bengali player playing in Premier Division or First Division, then maybe I can say I'm success. But I think at the moment, kisu organization in Ase Amra, they are quite close. But his closeness will continue horbo if they work with youth. Continue horon inshallah horbo. Last day just thanks to my Bishwanath teams and all the organizations, in Baul Aslam, I had such a wonderful time with every single organization, wonderful memories. I can live the rest of my life with those memories. Just one thing okay, I done this, I done that. I don't know. I'm not success. I didn't done nothing. Kunu shomoy ita sinta kora jor nai je ami ota korsi ba community amar lagi okta korse ami dekhi sinta kori ami community lai kita korsi okta amra dekhi amra good work koriya jai, one day it will pay. Thank you, EMDAD.
Khalis, again, your story is one I follow very, very closely. In terms of managerial know-how and makeup and execution, you've been very dignified in terms of how you've carried yourself over the years. I've always found you to be an ambassador. You know what, you've got to call it as is. I've found you to be a true ambassador for Bishwanath, and the totally right choice. One thing that was mentioned during the course of our discussion here today was there are always people who will take pot shots. And I know it's a negative aspect of our discussions here, but it's important and relevant to have these discussions on air, because there are many people who are in the same position as yourself and will probably gain inspiration from your words going forward. Me, myself, personally, when I took the World Cup job leading Bangladesh, this is my 3rd stint. Again, I identified with your position because every Tom, Dick and Harry believed that they could do the job better than me, which is absolutely fine. I have no issues with that. But it was the nasty, pervasive comments, the toxic comments, often behind the back, which really, you know what, lesser people, if you're not mentally strong, you have to be very, very mentally strong in positions like this. It could break you. And then not only that as well, sometimes like I said, it's a lonely situation where you think to yourself, I don't need this. You know what, I'm carrying this role as a volunteer for the benefit of other coaches who are looking up to you and aspiring to achieve like yourself. What advice do you have for these people?
I'm not in a position to advise anyone else with regards to how to be successful or how to deal with these things. But I guess the age that we're in at the moment, with the life experience. I mean, my background's been in management in different companies. So I guess building that up, putting that into what we're doing here in the footballing environment is key. For me, you're gonna get this kind of, leading anything, be it your household, to a little community organization, to a masjid, to a footballing association, etc. You're always gonna get that. You just have to be a little bit thick-skinned and do things for the betterment of what you're standing for. The second you take eye away from these things is where you won't have these issues. If you think I am being targeted, I'm the best now, or what I'm doing is the correct, etc. The second you keep eye in all of these things is where the problems start. The second you say, I am not doing this, I am doing this for us, and we are going to create a team, we are going to do the training session, we are going to go and win, not my team, my players, my this. The second you take that away, those toxic comments will, if it stops on it, doesn't matter, but it won't affect you. For me, I do it because, as you said, it's all voluntary. No one's paying me for it. So all these toxic comments, I just say to people, come and do it. Yeah. And my advice, if anything, is if someone is doing that to you, then feel and say the same things. Come and do it. Because we don't hold on to these positions like Bubble Boy was there before. And Bubble Boy is still sitting here. We didn't have a fight and say, you can't do it, I'll do it now. He's done it to create something. He's passed the baton on to me now, for example, and I'm going to do it for another year or two. I'm going to pass it to someone else. So it's us. If you take the eye out, I think all of these issues slowly will start diminishing. Bishwanath has no issues right now. The only thing we have right now is commitment. And from the players to the supporters even. Yeah, they do more work than us sometimes. Yeah. And then the players, right? We are all, like I said, we are all going in the same direction. And it takes time to create that, by the way. So, but until you take eye out of these things, you won't take it out. So my advice, if anything, work together, do it for the community that you're trying to build and create, and work towards the same goal that everybody wants to achieve, which is winning in football, obviously.
Fantastic.
Yeah? Thank you.
Advice. Fantastic advice. Anwar Bhai, last words from yourself. Anything to sum up, any advice, any announcements going forward?
Well, I want to take this opportunity to say, be thankful and thank the people who's actually running the organizations, running a team, being a manager, being in the management. Everybody who is involved with the community knows, organization knows that how much time it takes away from you. That time you could have spent with your families and business or work, whatever. Be appreciative, because every day, I'm not going to talk about any other organization. We want to talk about BSA here. Within this month, we had, several meetings. Sometimes we ended up 5 in the morning, putting a plan together, how to move forward. And that takes commitment, dedication, and the passion for your organization to go forward. And we are very thankful. We want to thank everyone behind the scene of BSA management. We want to thank the players, each and every players out there. That's what makes Bishwanath strong.
And their families.
And their families for putting up with it. The family, the players, the families, the supporters, the sponsors who invest in us to do better. We want to thank each and everyone. We want to thank other organizations, other Upujilas, for giving us the encouragement. When we see other Upujilas doing this and that, we want to step up 2 steps forward, doing better than them, because we take the challenge on ourselves. We give ourselves a challenge saying that we want to do better than this, or other Upajila done that, or other organization that done that, or they got a better player, we want a better player. So we invest our time, energy on them. So we want to be thankful to each and everyone, and be, my message to, we're just talking about the negative of the criticism of the managers and things like that. I want to say to these brothers, be patient and be appreciative, because I'm not talking about just myself or Bubble Boy or other. Everyone puts so much effort to make the job better, and everybody is spending time trying to fulfill their responsibility. So not everybody is going to be 100% successful. Like Bubble Boy said, every time the World Cup starts, we all shout out Brazil, Argentina, France. Not everybody reach out there. Sometimes we don't even make it to the qualifying stages. So that doesn't mean they're bad. They're all good, but you do have a bad spell. So thank you to everyone. I want to thank LB24 Shah and yourself for giving us the opportunity and the platform to come and talk about BSA. Inshallah, we want to be back here again talking about different projects and different sports. BSA, we got our calendars full with different events. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Again, you get a grasp of the levels involved in community matters. So this is not like a financial institution or a professional club. I mean, one example I use is in the run-up to the Inner London Football League World Cup this year, I had earmarked 4 players from the Bishwanath squad to invite them to join my World Cup squad. I'd had a brief conversation with Khalis beforehand in terms of his recommendations as well. Unfortunately, I ended up with none. And 2 were unavailable. For one, it was too early. There were other senior players from other, should we say, Upazilas and other Bangladeshi heritage players who were ahead of that one person. And one I had to drop simply because of a personal problem they had with one of the coaches. And this was actually a decision not based on footballing reasons. As one would say, did you make a footballing decision? I've got to be honest and I've got to say, no, it wasn't based on footballing decisions, but it was based on a decision to maintain harmony within the community. So sometimes, even when we run an organization like BSA, for example, or whether it's Osmani Nogor or Biani Bazar, sometimes what we have to do, our decisions are manifested and formulated by the impact it has on our community. And like I said, for coaches and administrators like yourself, when it comes to these levels, it's a thankless task, because sometimes you have to make very, very difficult decisions that may not make much sense to anybody else apart from yourself. And some of the decisions that you take, you may not be able to explain it to the wider community, and only a handful of people will understand the wisdom behind. But you, Anwar Bhai, Babul Bhai, and Khalis, and Koyes will have to take the flag, because you are the front for this organization. Exactly. So well done, everybody, for everything that you do. Again, Bishwanath have surpassed the great Osmani Nogor team by winning the Upazila Cup 3 times. It's difficult to see. Obviously, every great team has its purple patch and its heyday, but at this present moment of time, simply because of the setup and the passion involved with the individuals who are running the show with BSA, it's difficult to see where a challenge can be mounted from. However, having said that, we do know that the Upazila Cup can spring a few surprises. Sometimes we've had teams come from nowhere. Yes. In the case of Novi Goj, for example, who have come from nowhere and lifted the trophy. And we have had shocks. So major teams like Biani Bazar, for example, and Jagannath, who have been touted as favourites right from the beginning, even when they're aging teams as well, have never quite made that final push to becoming champions as well. We wish you all the best of luck with the future going forward, simply because of your astonishing achievements on the football field, but also because of the way that you are engaging the wider community and especially the youth as well. I'm your host, EMDAD, and this is The Sports Show. Thank you for watching.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Assalamu alaikum.